There are many cold places in the world, but the Mongolian steppe in winter is something else entirely. Temperatures plunge to -50 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze exposed human skin within minutes. The wind does not merely blow here, it cuts. The snow does not simply fall, it buries entire herds of livestock under frozen drifts. There are no trees, no natural shelter, nothing but an endless rolling grassland larger than the whole of Western Europe. And yet, in this environment that seems designed to kill, Mongol herders did not merely survive, they thrived. For over 1,000 years, they raised families, tended their animals, built homes, and passed down knowledge across generations, all in conditions that would overwhelm most modern survival technology. This was not luck. This was not primitive instinct. This was one of the most sophisticated, refined, and deeply intelligent survival systems ever developed by any human civilization. It was built from felt and wood, from animal heat and landscape knowledge, from generations of careful observation and accumulated wisdom. Let us examine it, layer by layer, and understand exactly how these people turned one of Earth's most hostile environments into home. Step 1. Choosing the right location, the art of Na. Before the first serious storms arrived, usually in October, every Mongol herding family faced the single most important decision of their year, where to place the winter camp. This decision was called the Otog, and getting it wrong could mean the death of the entire family and all their livestock. To an untrained eye, the steppe looks uniform, endless grass, rolling hills, open sky in every direction. But to eyes trained across generations, the landscape spoke clearly. Small depressions in the ground, rock outcroppings, the angles of hillsides, the direction of valleys, all of these communicated crucial information about what winter would bring to each specific location. The most important concept was Na, the shadow of the mountain. The ideal winter campsite sat on the southern face of a hill or in a shallow valley protected by elevated terrain on the northern and western sides. Here, the killing winds that swept down from Siberia would pass overhead, deflected by the natural barriers of the landscape rather than tearing through the camp at ground level. The southern exposure would capture every available degree of warmth from the low winter sun, warmth that was critical not just for human comfort, but for livestock survival. Even a few degrees of temperature difference could determine whether snow melted enough to expose grazing grass underneath or remained a frozen barrier that starved the herd. In the mathematics of steppe winter survival, those degrees were everything. Water formed the second requirement. Rivers and streams froze solid during the worst months, but they did not disappear. Every day, family members would chop through the surface ice to access the flowing water beneath, water that both humans and animals needed to survive. Winter camps were therefore always positioned within reasonable distance of a frozen water source. Timing the migration required reading weather patterns that had been observed and passed down across countless generations. Families spent the final weeks of autumn watching the sky, feeling the wind, observing the behavior of animals, and studying the atmospheric signs that preceded major snowfall. Moving too early meant abandoning valuable grazing time when animals needed to build fat reserves for winter. Moving too late meant heavy snows could block the migration routes entirely, trapping herds in the open where they would freeze or starve within days. The movement itself was a careful, coordinated retreat, thousands of animals driven across miles of increasingly hostile terrain toward the pre-selected refuge before the steppe turned lethal. Archaeological evidence